Sports segment.
In ancient Greece, athletic events often played an important part in religious festivals. The Olympic Games, honoring the god Zeus, eventually became the most important athletic religious festival. First, the games only involved running a race 210 yards.
Later, other events were added, including longer races, wrestling, javelin throwing, and jumping. The Greeks held the Olympic Games every 4 years. The games were so important to the Greeks that they measured time in 4-year intervals called Olympiads.
The most celebrated temple was the Temple of Zeus, dedicated to the Father of Gods. In this temple was a statue of Zeus made of ivory and gold, the masterpiece of the Athenian sculptor Phidias. Next to the Temple of Zeus ranked the Heracleum, dedicated to Hera, the wife of Zeus.
In this temple, probably oldest historic building known, stood the table in which were placed the garlands prepared for victors in the games.
Outside the outlets to the east were the stadium and the hippodrome, where the contest took place.
On the west were the palestras, or wrestling school, and the gymnasium where all the competitors were obligated to train for at least 1 month.
And now for the weather. Weather and geography. The geography of Greece is a mountainous land almost completely surrounded by the Mediterranean Sea. The country has mild winters and long, hot, and dry summers. The textbook says Greece is the southernmost country on the Balkan Peninsula. It consists of the mountainous Greek mainland and more than 2,000 islands, some of which are just a few miles from the coast of Turkey. The mainland and the islands together have an area comparable to that of England. Because of its location, Greece is in many ways a European Balkan, Mediterranean, and Near Eastern country.
According to the textbook, an island is an area of land that is completely surrounded by water. Islands vary in size, ranging from tiny to quite large, but no single island is large enough to be classified as a continent. Still, some are as big as Greenland, which has an area of nearly 840,000 square miles. Others, such as Bishop Rock and the British Isles of Scilly, are just large enough to hold a single building, in this case, a lighthouse. Some entire nations, such as Indonesia, are made up of a series of islands. Ancient Greece raised goats and sheep. They planted trees and grapes. They made food and drinks with the food and fruit they planted, such as wine with grapes and goats for sheep, and goats and sheep for milk and wool.
The farmland areas along the Mediterranean was more plentiful. Turkey was near the southern coast of France. According to the text, the geography of ancient Greece influenced the development of its civilization.
The isolation of the different cities and their unique geographies caused them to develop in unique ways.
Breaking news. A war has broken out. Okay, so why are you fighting in this war?
They stole the princess and we had to get her back. That's why we're fighting.
What happened during the war?
They went over to the Trojan, and they have these ginormous walls, and they made it seem like we were gone or we gave up. So we made a horse. So they thought that we just needed luck for the ride home. As they fell asleep, we got into the walls.
After the Trojans stole Helen from Greece, the Greeks made a huge wooden horse that the Greeks hidden. When the Trojans saw the wooden horse, they thought it was good luck charm and it offered safe travels from the gods. However, the Greeks brought it to the heart of their city and had a party. After the party, the Greeks went to bed. The Trojans came out and burned down the city's Greek the Greek cities and left.
Do you know why the princess got stolen?
No, but we think it's because she's so beautiful.
Okay, so what happened after the war?
After the Trojans refused to restore Helen to Menelaus, the Greek warriors assembled at the Bay of Aulis and proceeded to Troy in 1,000 ships. The siege lasted 10 years, the first 9 of which were uneventful.
In the 10th year, Achilles withdrew from battle because of his anger with Agamemnon. Achilles' action furnished Homer with the theme of the Iliad. To avenge the death of his friend Patroclus, Achilles returned to the battle and killed Hector, the principal of Trojan War.